Oh no, Arman Tsarukyan attacked Georgio Poullas at RAF last night. A brawl breaks out, everyone going nuts, so many people ripping on Arman Tsarukyan. How could he do this? Throwing a punch after the bell, the match is over, he lost his cool, what is he doing? Now, should Arman Tsarukyan have done that? Technically speaking, no, he should not have done that. But by the same token, it felt to me from my observations and what I have seen in terms of this match, it was very clear to me that Georgio Poullas wasn't necessarily there to wrestle. He was partially there to wrestle. It felt like to me this was the golden opportunity for Georgio to find a way to get himself in the headlines. Because that's exactly what's happened here. This is went absolutely viral. And people that out there, man, RAF has got to hate to see this. They got to hate to see this. You think they hate to see this? Look at the views that this thing's getting. This is the talk of the town right now. This is all over the news and the headlines for the combat sports world, man. Right? Arman Tsarukyan, to me, was clearly there to wrestle. And Georgio's known for the take me down challenge. Nobody can take him down, which I don't believe that BS for 1 second. It felt like to me this guy saw an opportunity and was looking for clout. That's what it felt like to me. Literally throughout the entire match, it was constantly something from this dude. Arman's in there trying to wrestle. This dude's just slapping away, throwing these clubby, slappy shots, poking him in the eyes, grabbing his fingers and turning his fingers around. Like, this dude to me was not really in there to wrestle. Like, he partially was, but to me it felt like he wanted this kind of reaction. That's what it felt like to me. And there's so many people out here, why would Arman do that? Why would Arman? When you're in there trying to wrestle, and it's in a combat setting, yes, it's wrestling rules, and you're continuously getting slapped, and there's a guy that continues to basically foul. That's unbelievably frustrating. This dude, he was asking for a problem, man. He was asking for a problem. The kitchen got hot, and he couldn't handle the heat. That's the way that I look at it. Now, again, should Arman have technically have done that? No. But was it justified? I feel like so, man. When you're going to continuously foul over and over and over again, and you're going to keep slapping Arman around, you're going to keep carrying on the way that you are, what do you think's going to happen? What do you think's going to happen? And you'd think when you're the wrestler and you're in there and you're competing with one of the best lightweights in the world in the UFC, a mixed martial artist, that you would have some sort of respect for him. This is a wrestling setting. You want to be competitive in the wrestling world? Fine, go ahead. But have some sort of respect that if things do pop off, this is a dude that's going to be able to whoop you, man. He's going to be able to whoop you. So to me, it just felt like Georgio was clearly in this for the headlines, man. That's the way it felt. He felt like he got exactly what he wanted, which is frustrating in a way. But I'm here to tell you, man, that RAF, the people that RAF can't stand to see this. No, this is massive for RAF. Massive headlines, man. This is getting their name out there, and I actually really enjoy RAF. I think it's great getting, wrestling on the map and creating all these matches and a bunch of the UFC guys joining in, collegiate wrestlers. Like, there's a ton of big names getting involved in this, and I absolutely love it. I think it's a great opportunity for people to be able to wrestle. But to me, this was just one of those situations where Georgio clearly was egging this thing on. Clearly. Smacking Arman around, Arman's giving it back to him, and then you could feel Georgio was kind of turning up the dials and almost feel like he didn't want to lose because of his ego, and he was trying to find a way to get Arman DQ'd or something. That's what it felt like to me. I could sense from Poullas' energy at the start of this thing, man, right? Just by the energy we had this week, that's the way it felt to me. Right, and then he goes in there, and it just felt like it was constantly something. Arman's out here trying to wrestle, and this dude's just kind of, what's he doing? He's slapping him around. He's slapping him. Throwing these, not clubbing, but these clubby, slappy kind of shots to where it's like, okay, come on, man. You're not trying to use technique here. There's a little sauce on that. You're trying to piss me off here. What are we doing? And the fact that the ref and the promotion, you saw that the heat was starting to turn up here. You saw that the animosity was starting to build here. It just felt like something was eventually going to pop off. And do you not know who Arman is? Arman's one of these guys, man, where if you're going to try to punk Arman around, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. So at the end of the day, it felt dirty to me, man. It felt like that hocus pocus BS is what I like to call it. Hocus pocus bullshit. That's what it felt like from Georgio, man. This, to me, is exactly what he wanted. It's exactly what he wanted. He wanted to go in there. To me, he just had the intention of kind of wrestling. Oh, we'll see what happens. But, I'm just going to go in here and basically cause a big drama show. And that's exactly what happened. It's exactly what happened. And I know Hamzat's out there reacting, watching it, and laughing. And look, man, Arman, to me, again, if you're going to go in there and you're going to try to do this to a guy and you're going to slap him around and you basically don't want to abide by the rules, you don't want to wrestle fair, you're going to egg somebody on and you're going to piss somebody off. That's the reality. And look at who you're dealing with, a UFC fighter, an MMA fighter. Have some respect that he's coming into the wrestling world, bringing his name into RAF, which is huge for RAF because Arman Tsarukyan's got a big fan base. Right? And people are out there, the UFC, they're going to hate to see this, and this is terrible for the UFC. Conor McGregor literally threw a dolly through a window, injured multiple people, and still carried on in the UFC. Now, I understand that, it's Conor McGregor, he's one of the biggest stars. The UFC, they pick and choose when to care, in my opinion. In my opinion, the UFC should be looking at this, and people are, they're going to cut Arman Tsarukyan. Arman, over about the past year or so, this dude, to me, has turned himself into a huge star in the UFC. A huge star. It feels like every other week, Arman's name is in the headlines for something. He's out here doing these side quests, these grappling competitions, and he's out here winning. Right? He's undefeated in these side quests, getting better, working on his ground game. Now, obviously, I think he needs to be in the UFC being quite, more active, right? He fought at 300 and then recently fought in Qatar against Dan Hooker. We need him active in the UFC. We need to get this dude a fight. And he should be fighting for the title next against Ilia Topuria, not Justin Gaethje. That's my opinion on it. But we know how the UFC, they're kind of holding it against Arman Tsarukyan. And I can just see it now. Right? There's two angles where the UFC's like, man, this dude, he's been going on podcasts. He's been, wrestling with MMA Guru, doing all these different things. And his name's been in the headlines a lot, man. So for a guy that once it was like, is he marketable? No one really knows who he is, was kind of the angle that people were playing. You can't play that now. Arman is one of the biggest names right now in the UFC, in my opinion, and especially in the lightweight division. And that just continues to build up this Ilia versus Arman fight, which I have been saying is not only one of the most high-level fights in the UFC, but it's one of the biggest fights they could book in the promotion right now. So the bottom line is, was this horrible? And oh no, for Arman Tsarukyan. Obviously, no, you shouldn't have done that after the match, technically speaking. But this guy, Georgio, knew exactly what he was doing. He was instigating. He was instigating. If you've ever been at a combat event where, whether it's a jiu-jitsu competition, there's wrestling going on, boxing, any kind of events, usually some extracurricular stuff tends to go down quite often. And usually it's because people don't want to abide by the rules. People are saying some things. People are shoving and doing. Things happen. They do. And Arman Tsarukyan was basically giving them some payback at the end for all of the shenanigans that Georgio was pulling off, man. He was pulling off, and I understand the teams are running in and all this stuff's going on. This, to me, was this guy coming in looking for a circus act. That's the way I looked at it. That's absolutely the way that I looked at it, man. So to me, again, there's going to be those people out there that are going to say, well, this is exactly why Arman Tsarukyan can't get a title shot, and this is exactly why the UFC doesn't give him a shot and all that. How in the world are you going to hold this against Arman when this is literally a wrestling competition? So it has nothing to do with the UFC. And again, I understand that it does feel like, I will say, from the outside angle, from, if you want to play the argument, the devil's advocate here, it does feel like every time you turn around, it's always something with Arman, right? Butting Dan Hooker at the weigh-ins, not a great idea, right? A little shove or something. I get trying to build up the fight and promote it and those kinds of things, but whenever you headbutt Dan Hooker, you're risking now the fight falling off, right? So it just feels like from the UFC's angle, they're going to have the ammo to be like, it is always something with Arman Tsarukyan, the thing with the fan at the, the UFC event. It just feels like it's always something with Arman Tsarukyan. But from what I saw from this match, this dude, Georgio Poullas, to me, it was that hocus pocus bullshit, man. He knew what he was doing. He, in my opinion, was not really there to necessarily wrestle. He kind of felt obviously Arman's a dang good wrestler, right? And this dude's out there, no one can take me down. He's got that ego to him. And he goes in there and he's dealing with a very good grappler, a high-level guy in Arman. And he's like, this is my opportunity. Arman's got a little bit of he's got that hothead side to him. Let me go in here and let me just kind of clown around, slap him around, play that kind of game. And if you think you're going to go in there with someone like that and you're just going to slap him around and what, punk him? punk him in front of all these people? It's just ridiculous to me, man. So to me, the clown here is Georgio Poullas. So again, should Arman have done it? Not exactly, but to me, I felt like given all that happened, what were you expecting if you're Georgio? To me, he was looking for a major reaction. And Arman Tsarukyan, I feel like he's justified. When a guy's slapping you around, the referee, I felt like the promotion and the referee, they could have stepped in, to be honest with you. You could feel the tension rising, right? But now this pops off. Headlines, all over the place. This is the big news today. So at the end of the day, man, this is the reality. This is the reality. I feel like it was justified in a way, given all of the different things that Georgio was doing, slapping him around, kind of targeting the eyes, almost getting close to the eyes at least, grabbing his fingers, twisting them around. It just felt very, very dirty from Georgio. So it just felt like it was a matter of time coming, knowing someone like Arman Tsarukyan. So at the end of the day, man, felt like he was looking for a clown show, and just like Arman Tsarukyan tweeted out, F around and find out. Don't be playing around like that, man.